Hi, everyone. My name is Ted Walker. I hope you've all enjoyed the festivities we've been having this past week. I know myself, I've been astounded by the work of the LULAC staff to bring together so many people over the last few days. Part of the amazing opportunities that I have had as a LULAC intern is the opportunity to meet so many incredible people. Being a Colorado native myself, I now have the privilege to introduce our next speaker, the presidential candidate and Colorado Senator, Michael Bennett. Bennett was first appointed to the office in 2009 and won election to a full term in 2010. Before his appointment, Bennett was the superintendent of Denver Public Schools. While in the Senate, he has been a hero among nonpartisanship in Washington, D.C. He has tried to bring the aisle together to address the issues LULAC cares about in the most effective and fair way for us all. His commitment to bringing our nation's leaders together has shown work in drafting nonpartisan policies he believes both Republicans and Democrats can vote for. Issues such as better public health and comprehensive immigration reform. While trying to build the integrity of government, he also supports economic opportunity for all. Please join me in welcoming Senator Michael Bennett.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I want to thank my fellow Coloradan, Ted Walker, for the kind introduction. And I'd like to acknowledge Domingo Garcia and all of LULAC for your 90 years of work to empower Hispanic and Latinx leaders and communities across the country. I also would like to acknowledge tonight two Coloradans who are here, John and Maria Castillo. Last month, their son Kendrick sacrificed his life to save his friends at a shooting at his school outside of Denver. And as a parent, I want to acknowledge their terrible loss and recognize his extraordinary bravery. Tonight, I'd like to address two topics briefly with you that are of concern to me. One is immigration and the other is education. When she first saw the photos of children being separated at the border, my mother, Susie Bennett, called me and said, "I see myself in them." Because when war came to her country during World War II, she was separated from her parents for years. And the effects of that separation last a lifetime. In her case, her parents and they were Polish Jews who finally were able, after going to Mexico City for a year, to come to the only country in the world where they could rebuild their shattered lives, the United States of America. 50 years later, we can both secure our border and treat people humanely in this country. Instead, today, we have an administration who has turned our border into a symbol of nativist hostility, is planning ICE raids on Sunday in cities across this country, including my hometown of Colorado, and is acting like we are a weak country that can't solve the crisis at the border. We are a strong country. We are a rich country. We are a humane country. We were to my mother, and we need to be to these families as well. And we can contend with both issues, the refugee issue and the immigration issue. And on the refugees, we need a president who will end family separation, treat people humanely, and convene countries in the hemisphere to determine a strategy for resettlement of refugees in the hemisphere and address the root causes of violence in these countries. The second issue I wanted to mention is our broken immigration issue. In 2013, I was part of the Gang of Eight in the Senate that passed a comprehensive immigration bill. We got 68 votes. A pathway to citizenship for 11 million people that are here that are undocumented, the most progressive DREAM Act that's ever been passed. And yes, Mr. President, $46 billion of 21st century border security that could make sure that the border of this country was secure. That's what we need to do again. Finally, I want to say a word about education. Today in America, income inequality is greater than it's been in 100 years, and our education system is reinforcing that income inequality, not liberating people from it. I was superintendent of the Denver Public Schools, a district that is over 60% Latinx, and tonight the families there are terrified of these ICE raids. But what they also know is that when one group of kids has access to preschool and another group, through no fault of their own, does not, when one group of kids has access to high-quality K-12 education and the other does not, when one group has access to tutors and counselors and parents who went to college and the other does not, then even equal is not equal, and we need to make a change. We need preschool for every kid that needs it in America, and that's every kid in America. We need K-12 schools all across the country that every senator with every choice in the world would send their kids to. We need people to be able to go to college without incurring debt. And for the 70% of kids that don't go to college, we need to get them the skills when they're in high school to earn a living wage, not just the minimum wage when we graduate. And one more thing, we need to start paying teachers like they are the professionals that they are. This may seem obvious, but when it comes to kids living in poverty and kids of color in this country, we are doing almost none of it. I'm running for president because I refuse to be part of the first generation of Americans to leave less opportunity, not more, to the people that are coming after us. That is what LULAC stands for as well. It is a great privilege to be with you tonight. Thank you for allowing me to have this moment to address you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you, and good luck. Thank you.